Hey YouTube, SpyPlane662 Gaming here with another video on my Strkers Nomad build. Just want to thank you for coming back to view the videos here. I'm new to YouTube and relatively new to the Division, but absolutely love the game. With this video here, if you want to talk or look at the weapons, those are more described in the previous video with respect to my high-end exotic build, so I won't go too much into detail about the weapons again. Same weapons, just a different gear set. So right now I'm running a little bit over 8,000 firearms and right under 4,000 stamina. Toughness is still pretty good at 347k, and electronics and skill power absolutely low on this guy. But no worries, we'll talk about the benefit and value added to having this 4-piece Strkers, 2-piece Nomad for PvE in a bit. Just to kind of give you a heads up here, I have had a lot of these pieces since back in my 1.5 farming days. I've been playing the game for about 4 months now. I didn't really understand the true value or benefit added to Strkers because I was running the 4-piece Alpha Bridge in Nomad. I used to run a 4-piece Nomad as well with the 2-piece Alpha Bridge. It just depends, on the scenario for me. I'm more of a PvE player. Only venture out into the dark zone for the weeklies and dailies. But for the past 2 or 3 days, I've been running this 4-piece Strkers, 2-piece Nomad for PvE content in patch 1.6, and I absolutely love it. It's a great setup. The numbers, overall from weapons damage, just looking at a snapshot here from my high-end exotic build, on the M4 I was doing 368k on the high-end exotic and about 322k damage on the MP5. But wait till you see the benefit of Strkers here in a bit. For the chest piece, pretty decent armor roll here, 1882. It was spec'd into stamina. I had to roll in health, obviously. I think it's critical to have health rolled into certain gear pieces. The enemy armor damage was really nice for PvE content. Increased kill XP, which is okay too for when you're running around in the light zone for those field proficiency caches. I much preferred would have had this, like in the ammo or something else. But rolling the Strkers 4-piece, 2 pieces gives you 20% stability, which is absolutely huge. Especially for the old FAMAS or Bullfrog weapon that I've got. 10% enemy armor damage with the 3-piece, and that Strkers Battle Gear talent set 4-piece bonus gives you a 1% stacks up to 100% so long as you're hitting consecutive stacks. Obviously, if you miss, it reduces the stack bonus, but if you continue a hit, which is not too terribly difficult to do in PvE, it definitely has a much more impact on damage output here as opposed to the high-end exotic build I was running early on in patch 1.6. So, standard firearms health mods, these are the same mods that I run off my high-end exotic build. I just transferred them over to the Strker Nomad gear. This pack was decently rolled in firearms. I ended up putting health in there, and it did come with ammo, which is key. Again, running the firearms health and the first aid self-heal mods. Nomad mask, pretty decent enemy armor damage here with 10% damage to elites. Ended up rolling it into firearms, and again we've got the firearms health mod. Strker gloves, I got really lucky with these gloves. 1268 base firearms damage. I ended up rolling in additional assault rifle damage since it's my primary weapon. Critical hit chance and enemy armor damage helps out a little bit here on the gloves, but man, I tell you that 1268 was a near perfect roll. Nomad knee pads, rolled it into firearms, 6,000 health, increased kill XP, okay for PvE, but that damage to elites is absolutely critical, especially when you're running those solo challenge missions. Shock resistance is okay, kind of more pertinent for when you're running around against the LMB forces or even in the dark zone. A lot of folks are using the shock turrets out there in PvP. Would have much preferred to have like a bleed resistance here, but pretty decent roll on the knee pads there. I've had these for a very long time. And again, just running the firearms health mod, first aid self-heal on the knee pads. This was a really nice find. The Strkers holster was absolutely rolled, really well in firearms, so I ended up rolling health into it. Not too great on the electronics, it's 1209, but decent. All of the stats are above 1200. Ended up rolling in the first aid self-heal mod on this. So, as I mentioned before, my primary damage on the high-end exotic build for my M4, same weapon, and my MP5 were a little bit higher. 368K for the M4, 322K for the MP5. But as you can see here, if I just go ahead and proc that booster shot, okay, that damage output goes to 401K and 358K on this Strkers build. So on the high exotic build, it was obviously going up to 431 on the M4 and 378 on the MP5. But when I go in here and I start shooting at this target, we'll just call this guy Fred. Sorry, Fred. Start shooting here. As you can see down below, that green number count there is the Strkers 4-piece talent, which is stacking, and it'll stack up to 100%. When you get that to stack up to 100%, it adds 1% more damage, maxing out at 100%. Look at the output now on my MP4. Over 600, close to 700,000, over 600,000 on my MP5. So the damage and output potential, so long as you're landing consecutive shots, stacking that Strkers 4-piece battle gear talent, capping it out at 100% is absolutely critical. Okay. Again, it does count down. You can see as it each second transpires, it loses a stack or percentage, and obviously if you miss, okay, you lose a lot of those bonuses there. The critical thing here is to find yourself getting more accurate shots on target and stacking up to that 100%. What's nice too is that you get that added stability bonus with Strkers, but obviously with the talent that we talked about earlier in the previous video, that steady hands, when you find yourself going into cover, you get an added stability buff from that talent as well. So relatively easy, even for console shooters, to continuously stack consecutive shots. So again, there's that Strkers at 95% there. Now I'm going to hit a booster shot. Get that to maximize at 100%. My output damage is 747K on the M4, 660K on the MP5. Absolutely phenomenal damage output on this gear setup. Go back to the Bullfrog. Remember we talked about the Bullfrog in the previous video. This basically dances around a lot, especially when you are in the old patch 1.5 with no accuracy stability mods to capitalize on that uncomplicated talent. As you can see here, even on a console, with the Strkers and the stability talent, I'm able to keep this thing pretty much right on Fred the whole time. Okay, and the output potential for the Bullfrog is phenomenal. It's over 800,000 DPS. So definitely try this Strkers piece out, guys. What's really nice about this too is that you're getting that added health on kill from the 2-piece Nomad. So the health on kill, 15% is absolutely critical here. The damage to elites, 33% extra damage to elites, and 64.5% enemy armor damage. Okay, skill power is a heck of a lot lower on this guy, but I don't have to rely too much on my healing skill so long as I am continuously killing folks and keeping that health bar and keeping those health skills going. Toughness, health is a little bit higher on this character as opposed to my first guy, and he's mitigating about 31.5% damage. Health regeneration is about the same. So again, guys, just my Strkers Nomad build. I saw the light after I started running with this. The very first run I did through Lexington on solo mode, I found myself just absolutely bored. It typically used to take me about 25 minutes to run through that on my high-end exotic build. A little longer on my Alpha Bridge build, but with this I find myself just kind of breezing through those Lexington challenge modes solo. Roughly get through them in about 20 minutes. So I could do about 3 of those an hour with each character, trying to maximize potential of getting more of these Barrett's Bulletproof Vests. So hey, that's it guys for the video. If you liked the video, drop a like. If you have any comments or suggestions or recommendations, please comment below. Let me know what you think. It's still a work in progress. I'm trying to finesse this gear as best as possible, and the weapons as well, by continuously farming both the light zone and the dark zone. Anyways, thanks for the visit. Y'all take care. Have a good day.